Hello there, I am No Name and I'm back again with another Advance Wars video. So what I want to talk about specifically is how to bait units. And I think in low bracket games, like if you're playing in the 800 to 900 or even 900 to 1000 MMR, baiting units would really help you raise your MMR because it's usually inexperienced players who fall for these types of baits. So, let's start with baiting. First is, what kind of unit do you want to use as a bait? Normally, the most common are recon. Second is your artillery. The reason why they are such good baits is because they're a low commitment unit but requires a high commitment response. What does this mean? Low commitment in a sense that these units are dirt cheap. Like recon costs only 4,000 gold, $4,000, I don't know, advanced wars currency. Yeah, 4,000 advanced wars currency. And then artillery costs only 6,000. Now, how do you shut them down? You would need more expensive units. Particularly, you would need a tank, which costs $7,000. I don't know. I'm just gonna say advanced wars currency, AWC. I don't know. 7,000. It costs 7,000. And battlecopters, which costs 9,000. These are usually the units you use to shut the artillery and the recon down. Recon baiting is most effective in the early game, where there isn't a lot of units yet and you're not going to be punished super hard if your recon is overextending. You could have a recon to tank trade and you're going to net 3,000 gold in value. Second is the artillery. The reason why, again, this is a good bait, not only because they're cheap, but because they're usually at the back part of your army. Once the opponent sees the artillery, usually it's going to be protected by other units unless there's like a gap. And if there's a gap, 8 times out of 10, if you're playing someone who's less than 1k MMR, they'll go for the artillery. Because maybe for them, they'll think it's a cost-effective engagement. I'll get rid of the artillery, which won't be shooting at stuff anymore. And they would probably think it was a good idea. But normally, especially if you don't have vision over the area, that's not a good idea. Especially if you reach 1 to 1.1 MMR, that kind of offense isn't gonna fly. So, by the very virtue of them being on a defensive position, you are requiring at least 2 units to be out of position, and you can punish those 2 units. Or if not 2 units, they'll only commit 1 unit, but that's still a win because you're probably gonna kill either their tank or their battlecopter, and your artillery can recover in a city and then shoot for another day. So as you can see, in terms of cost-wise, it's a pretty good trade for you to have as long as you set up your defenses. So I have a game here that I want to show where I think baiting units using artillery and recons was used pretty effectively. Another thing that you can use to bait units is infantry capping, particularly infantry capping an opponent's city. There will also be instances in this video where an infantry capping a city was used to bait out bigger units, and then subsequently those units were murdered. So yep, let's get on to the game. So a quick overview of the map and the CO. So this map is called Rice Paddy. It's not really a global league map. Like this game that I'm playing, it's not really global league, it's just a casual match. Like I put out a challenge on the Advance Wars by Web Discord, and someone accepted. I told them we can play any map, any CO. So it became a tier 3 CO in this map. So I'm playing Sonya, and my opponent is playing Kindle. So not gonna go in too deep to the COs. Basically, Sonya has extra vision and has a harder counterattack. Kindle has 40% firepower their city. So basically that's her day-to-day power. So let's get on to the match. Yeah, I'll skip the first turns because there's not really a lot happening here. Like I'll go straight to the part where I'm using recons and artilleries as baits. So as you can see, I built my recon pretty early. Now there's a debate surrounding Sonya, whether or not you should build recon to Sonya. And I think you definitely should get recon to Sonya, because the vision that Sonya recons give off is insane. Like, it's six vision. You can pretty much scout if a tank is available to hit your recon, and if you don't see anything, you can assume that your tank is safe, just like what I'm doing here. Because of the extreme vision of Sonya, I know there's no tank in this forest. Therefore he can't counterattack, and I'm able to continue punishing his infantry here. So you can, as you can see, recon vision as Sonya, very good. So yeah, and yeah, because of the Sonya vision, I know that there's a tank here, so it's time to back off. But yeah, not the point of this video. Anyway, yeah, let's just keep moving. And then here's my first bait, the recon on a city. Since I know I'm playing with Kindle, I know there's a tank here. And the thing is, with Kindle tank on a city against the recon, it's gonna one-shot it, like no question asked. Like, let's look at this. And yeah, he reveals my tank, and then he kills the recon as expected. And then he moves in with this other tank, which I probably should have expected because I haven't seen any tanks or recons interrupting my caps here. But he takes a shot at this tank. So from Kindle's point of view, you think that's a good trade. I kill the recon, I first hit the tank. So the Kindle player must have been pretty happy. But what he doesn't know is I can back up. So let's continue and see. Okay, now look at the damage that he was able to deal. He was able to kill my recon. Okay, good for you. And my tank's at 6 HP, which is still pretty good. I can heal that in 2 turns. So look at this. I kill his tank, and my tank that he first shotted is just getting healed up. So what did he gain out of that engagement? He gained the 4K recon. In exchange, he sacrificed a 7,000 tank. So in terms of engagement, we are pretty... I am now ahead of 3,000 because my tank's still alive. So that's the first instance of a recon baiting out the tank. As I've mentioned earlier, recon baiting, it's best during the early game where you know you won't be punished as hard if you were overextending. Because if this were in the late game, you would assume he has like 4 tanks waiting in the vicinity just ready to punish you. So right now in the early game, you don't have to worry about that as much. So yeah, you know, your usual turns. Yeah. I already have 2 artilleries just ready to be baits later on. So yeah, kills my vision. Yeah, kills infantry, and yeah, so far pretty standard. Like, I shifted this recon to this side because I already have mountain vision here. That's pretty, so I'm good. So yeah. So now look at the positioning of this recon. It's on an empty missile silo, which is basically a city. It's surrounded by road tiles. What does that mean? If he chooses to attack this recon, let's say with this tank, which I see, this tank is gonna be on a 0 defense style, and it doesn't even kill this recon. But what if he has a second tank, which in this case he did have? Then he would be forced to attack on this other road tile, which would have 0 defense, killing my recon. Is that a good engagement for him? Not really, because I have this tank in position, this battlecopter in position, and then this tank would move like probably here as well, and it would be able to reinforce. I also have this tank here which can also retaliate. So as you can see, it's not going to be a winning engagement for him, which makes this a very good bait. Now the question is he going to take the bait or not? Let's find out. So as you can see, I'm just positioning my units. Yeah, so let's see if he takes the bait. So yeah, normal stuff, like killing my infantry, whatever. And then yeah, he moves out his tank. Moves his tank to the forest where it's out of my vision. And then let's see what he does with his other tank. Maybe he'll try to attack my recon there. And he does it. He just pushes it forward and doesn't take this trap, which to be fair, was the right call. Like, he doesn't have any vision of what's happening here. He knows I have a battle copter that's just around somewhere, probably hiding somewhere in the fog. So, restraint was definitely the correct choice here. So, good for him for not taking this bait. That's some 1000 MMR playstyle for him. So, yeah, alright. Okay, moving on, and yeah, he attacked this artillery, probably saw it, but again, that not a problem, whatever. So, okay. Now, let's see what happens next. And right now I'm just positioning my artillery to be defensive. Like, this artillery is protecting this city, so that if he tries to cap that, he's not going to cap it. Because I have an infantry and artillery just waiting to retaliate. So, yeah, and then I place this recon here. I'm pretty positive this is going to die. But yeah, I'm just getting it vision. I'm not using it as a bait or anything. I'm just here for vision. Whatever. Here's where I did something stupid. So I see this, and here's again another example of baiting, but I'm the one being baited at. So as I mentioned earlier, another way to bait aside from recons and artillery is an infantry capping. Cause like an inexperienced player, or in my case, a stupid player, will try his best to interrupt this cap, even though it's a bit of a stretch. It's far from home. My base, it takes 3 turns to reach this. It only takes 2 turns for him. So this is definitely an overextension on my end. But stupid me, I still tried to interrupt it. This is particularly bad because I'm going against Kindle, which basically means this tank is going to get decimated the next turn, especially if he kills this, which he can because he has 2 infantries, and then he can just like blast this later on. So again, pretty stupid move on my end, but it's a good showcase on how infantries can be used to bait. So yeah, I move my units, whatever. So as you can see, I don't agree with this. I probably would have just attacked with both my infantries here, but whatever. Reveals anti-air, which isn't good, but not the point of this video. So yeah, he kills the infantry, and then he gets a free shot at this tank. And it's a tank on a city as a Kindle player. That's devastating. Now, you don't see the damage yet, but you can assume that this tank's pretty much useless. Or is it? Let's see. So yeah, as predicted, this recon was supposed to die. It wasn't meant to live there. So yeah. Okay. All right. So here, look at that. In exchange for an infantry capping, which is 1,000 gold, I lost 7 HP for my infantry and then 9 HP for my tank. That's around 7,000 to 8,000 value for 1,000. So, as you can see, pretty good trade when you're baiting. So, realizing that I'm not going to break through this as much as I want to kill this anti-air, I can't. So, this battle cutter, just move somewhere else. So, yeah, I back away my tank here, and then I position my artillery here. So again, I'm baiting him to get this 1 HP tank. The thing is, I'm playing a Sonya. He doesn't know it has 1 HP. For all he knows, it might have like 5 HP and it would come back to 7. So he might want to kill it as soon as possible. But yeah, this 1 HP tank, it's still doing work even though it's supposedly useless already. So yeah, so I'm just blasting with my artillery because after setting it up. And then, yep, I shift my forces, or at least some of my forces, to the right side, southern side. But yeah, it's still within retaliation range if ever I need to. So, and then I build a second artillery because I have plans for this artillery. So, okay, so yeah. Alright, so now, look at his vision. From his perspective, he sees this tank. He doesn't know it's a 1 HP tank. For all he knows, it's a healthy tank. That's at like 4 HP that's gonna die. So, yeah. He doesn't see the artillery though. And I placed this APC here just so he won't have vision over the artillery. Because I know this recon isn't gonna attack this APC. Like, it's barely gonna do any damage, so it's not really helpful. At best, he might try to attack this APC after popping Urban Light with this tank. It's not gonna kill it. Like, I checked the damage calculator, it's gonna have 1 HP left. And after that, you wouldn't have anything else to attack with. So, the best course of action for him is maybe to attack this infantry, which I think that's what he does. Yep. So he still doesn't have vision of this anti-air, of this artillery, and that's what I want. I do not want him to find out that this artillery is here. So again, being aware of your opponent's vision, very important. So he pops Urban Light as expected. So yeah, I mean, he doesn't really like do anything. Like, I guess this tank and this artillery, yeah, not really a good power there. And then yeah, he kills this tank. Now he sees the artillery when I'm already ready to fire, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. So yeah, he caps this. I mean, he probably should have given that a couple of turns ago, but whatever. So now, yeah, he's just preparing because he sees the artillery. It's exposed. There's nothing blocking it, but it's gonna hit off this tank. The very fact that this artillery got a hit off this tank already means that this artillery paid for itself. So it's already gained its value. So technically, you could just throw it away, and you know it would have been still useful. So yeah, in normal infantry movement here, yeah, just trying to get the southern property, but he's not getting it. So okay, yeah, as expected, blew off this tank to 4 HP. It's gonna die by this tank. So okay, yep. And yeah, normal movements, like yeah, I get a free shot of this. Like, I'm so annoyed that this didn't die. I guess that's Sonya for you. Any other CO, this would have probably been dead, but whatever. Okay. And then, yep, tank's dead, thanks to the artillery. And I killed this this transport copter, because why not? Like, at best, he's gonna attack the anti-air with a tank, and then I'm gonna hit the anti-air, or I'm gonna hit this anti-air, or I'm gonna hit this tank with this artillery. God damn it! So it's pretty, it's a solid defense. So yeah, I get rid of it. I get rid of my APC here just to scout what's happening here in this forest, because I saw this moving later, but whatever, again, not the point. Okay, so here. Okay, I spot my counter break, so now he can't touch me. Okay, so let's look at from his perspective. From his perspective, he knows there's an artillery here because he saw it blast this tank. So he knows there's an artillery here. And we were playing this live, so I'm pretty sure he was watching my moves here. So he knows there's an artillery here. So that means this anti-air is not to get shot. First, because I have counter break, so it's not gonna deal as much damage. And second, there's an artillery to support it. So let's see what he does. So he spots the artillery. This is my first bait. I want him to attack this artillery because I have an artillery that's just waiting to blast. So, and as expected, he took the bait. And it does X amount of damage. Like, I don't know. He probably has an idea, like this, he assumes that this artillery is already pretty useless. What he doesn't know is that this artillery has just become its most useful in this turn, because I get a free shot of this tank. So yeah, he just keeps hitting units right now. And then, and I don't know, weird. Okay, I guess he just wants to kill the infantry. Like, maybe he could have attacked this anti-air because he knows that this artillery is pretty useless now, but whatever. So okay, here's the second bait. I am well aware that this tank is here. very well aware that this tank is here. Now, the only way he could attack his tank is to here, here, or if he kills this here. But he would need to commit like units to do that, and I don't think he would want to. He could probably commit this infantry just to attack here, but like there are 2 copters anyway, so it would be a very bad idea to attack this artillery. But the thing with inexperienced players is that if they see the artillery somewhere in the back line and they have a way to attack it, they will. 80% of the time, they will. And yeah. As predicted, like he even went the scenic route and attacked me from behind. He attacked my artillery on a city. That's already bad enough if you attack this artillery on plains, where your tank is going to be out of position. He attacked it from a city. That means this artillery will regain 2 HP damage, 2 HP, yeah, will regain 2 HP and will hit harder than usual. So, and what did he get out of that? A damaged artillery. What did I get out of that? A dead tank. That's a pretty good trade if you ask me. And yeah, he kills his infantry. I would have probably reversed the order. Like, get this recon here first so that I have vision over what's behind the enemy line, and then you strike. But whatever. So yeah, he tries. I don't know what he was trying to do. Was he trying to kill this artillery? Oh, whatever. So yeah, what's happening in the slaughter is not relevant, but basically I'm winning there. Okay, so okay, let's now see. Okay, vision's kind of buggy. Okay, all right, now it's my turn. I have just successfully baited a tank, and apparently I also baited an anti-air. You didn't expect this. I was just hoping for the tank, but you know what? A free anti-air, I'll take it. So, yeah, just your usual. You kill this off. Kill off the vision. It's usually what you want to do first. Kill off the vision. So yeah, even at 5 HP, it still hits pretty well, and it's gonna be at 7 HP next turn. So yeah, kill the recon. So he no longer has a vision over this area aside from the tank, which is also gonna die. Back and. Now he doesn't have any idea where the battle copter is. I could put it here and let it stay, or I could shift it up. And yeah, I'm just killing the vision. So you can see, look at the trade. He dealt 7 HP damage to my artillery, but because of that, he lost a tank. And then this anti-air, I guess you can die as well. So that's a free anti-air. There, yeah, just kill it. Like, shouldn't have died, but whatever. So let's look at the engagements that happened there. So you just ignore the soldered flank, it's not really relevant. So okay, all right, okay, so let's look at the previous engagement. Because of my bait, I lost 7 HP from this artillery, and then like maybe 3 HP, oh no, 7 HP as well, and then it healed up to 5. So you can say that I lost an artillery worth of value, like around 6-7k. What did I get out of it though? I got 14k worth of damages. Not only damages, but unit count. So I dealt 14,000 worth of damage and removed 2 units on the map. And because he was super reckless, I also got a recon and then an anti-air. But that's not the point. Even without the recon and then the anti-air, the value still speaks for itself. Like around, let's say 7,000 worth damages from this artillery, which can still be healed up. What I got in return was 2 tanks that are dead. So considering, like, if you keep doing good engagements, you will eventually outpace or outvalue your opponent. That's just facts. Like yeah, that's just facts. That's just math. If you keep doing better trade, it's gonna build up, and it's day 15, and look at this value. It's 58,000 versus my 108,000. So if you add this value, that's around 75,000, I guess. That's still a 25,000 deficit. Mainly because I keep baiting him to attack cheap units with his expensive units, and I kill off those expensive units. And it's starting to add up. Like, it's already 25,000, and look at our unit count value difference. It's pretty glaring. It's beginning to add up, really. So what does he do? Yeah, build like pops, urban light, whatever. So yeah, like he's just trying to like survive right now. So okay, yeah, he retreats as as he would, because he probably realized that he was overextended, and he doesn't have any more units to back it up. So really, he's in a very bad position. He's probably aware of that. So okay, right now I'm probably gonna lose. I made peace that I'm gonna lose this property. So what I do instead? So yeah, I try to like get rid of these units and then get it like in the future. But yeah, I use my infantry to cap one of his properties. Because I'm Sonya, I have such great vision. I know there's nothing in this forest because I've had vision of these two tiles before that, so I would have known if someone slipped through here thanks to this thanks to my 6th vision infantry. So I know there's nothing here. If there's nothing here, then as far as my vision is aware, this can't interrupt. And the best way that someone could interrupt if there's like a tank hiding somewhere in the forest that could attack this, which I've already took into account. So what I do, I move my artillery just behind my infantry so that if someone attacks this this infantry, which I know isn't going to be infantry, it's going to be something expensive, either a tank or in this case an anti-air. It's another super cost-effective engagement on my part, or a cost-effective trade, because I'm basically goading my opponent with a 1,000 worth unit, and I'm goading him to attack with something that's at least worth 4,000, which is a recon, or in this case an anti-air, or it could have also been a tank. Any of those units are very expensive, so I'm just baiting him right now. And the thing is, he doesn't have vision, so he has no idea what he's going to walk into. So right now I'm just setting it up. So I put this blocker here because I know that someone might try to attack from this angle. And then yeah, put this anti-air here because yeah, again, I was expecting a tank. I was expecting an anti-air, but I wasn't expecting it to attack this infantry. So yeah, so right now I just set up my defenses because I'm pretty aware that an expensive unit might try to interrupt this. So again, I'm just baiting. Like, my defenses are in the back and I'm baiting. Even when I'm ahead, I'm very patient. I'm not overextending. I'm just goading him in. So yeah, normal infantry stuff, like he's trying to send reinforcements to the top and he's gonna get this property. Sadly, there's no way for me to stop that, which is fine. And then I don't know what this transport copter is doing. It's not even like carrying an infantry. Again, whatever. And there he goes. As expected, something attacked this tank. I didn't expect it to be a copter. I was expecting it to be another tank. But whatever, I have a copter to deal with this anyway, so I was pretty covered here. And here's the weird thing. Now that he sees my anti-air, he still went for the attack. I get it. He doesn't want to be behind 2k in terms of value. But the thing is, he was gonna capture this anyway. So once he captures this, and then I capture this, it's status quo. It's gonna be 15-17 again. So just to interrupt this cap and maybe gain an additional 1,000 for every other turn, he sacked an anti-air, which is already bad on its own. And it's even worse because I have a battle copter here. So now this area is completely unprotected from an air unit. So it's not only bad, it's disastrous. So just because I was able to bait out these expensive units with an infantry capping. So yeah, right now, just building tanks right now because it's really all he could afford. He can't afford a medium tank yet. And yeah, and to be honest, this map's probably not a medium tank map. It's pretty, it's not a very big economy map. There are only 2 bases, but yeah, whatever. I digress. So again, thanks to the bait, I was able to take a good shot at this anti-air, and I pulled this out because I need the space. And this is so annoying. I guess this is a drawback if you're playing Sonya. Any other CO, this anti-air would have been dead, especially with an infantry coming. This anti-air should have been dead, but it didn't. But you know what? But that's fine. It's a 1 HP. It's a 1 HP anti-air. It might still do 2 damage to my copter, but whatever. So yep, now this copter isn't a threat. And then of course, just kill his tank. And then, knowing that there might be a Kindle tank that would just blitz through to this city and attack this tank, yeah, but just guard it. Like just sit there. And then for extra defense, I put this artillery here. This is also a bait because I have a tank behind that's just ready to punish. Like this one's kind of out of position, but yeah. So, but yeah, there's like a tank that's waiting to first strike. So this is a bait as well, but doesn't really have any way of attacking it. So yeah, just in case like he has like a stray tank here that's going to attack, but whatever. And there you go. Let's see. Because of the bait, now he doesn't have anything here. Like his push was once again derailed because he took the bait of a 1 HP infantry. So yeah, he still tries his best. Yeah, just sending tanks here, trying to reinforce the side, like yeah, just putting out more tanks. If I were him, I probably would have saved up for a medium tank by now, because you're not going to win a tank versus tank war against Sonya. Not if you don't have an increased, not if you don't have like a day-to-day increased firepower, just because his counterattacks are a lot stronger. So if Sonya is in a defensive property, you're not going. If a Sonya is able to take advantage of defensive terrains, you're not going to win a tank versus tank warfare with Sonya. And I'm not even playing a tank versus tank warfare. I have very diversified units here, and he has tanks, which I could easily counter with a single battlecopter and then our artillery. So yeah, not a good unit composition for him, but again, not the point. So yeah, now it's just his suicides, his anti-air probably would have hit it the force just so it could be annoying. Suicides his battlecopter, very weird moves, but yeah. So right now, again, playing defensively, which he should, because right now, arguably, I'm overextending. So good thing he wasn't able to punish that. So I have an extra turn just to chill out. So yeah, I know that there's nothing here anymore, so I shift my forces back to the center, where it could maybe shift down to the south if needed. So yeah, and then I position my tanks in a defensive position that they can counter attack later on. And I build a medium tank because I know he has like a lot of tanks, and medium tanks best response to attack. So yeah, just healing that up and then capturing this property again. I'm goading him again. Will he fall for the same trick twice? Let's find out. Yeah, just for gusto, I also joined cap. Even I probably wouldn't have needed it because I could have captured it in 3 turns anyway. But yeah, I did a join cap, and now there's a 10 HP infantry. Again, another bait for this tank, which I see. So yeah, and then I cover it because because I really want to get this property now. So now I'm covering it, but this artillery still protects both of these tanks. So he would have 2 first strikes on my tanks with these tanks, which is again fine because I have artillery backing it up. So day 18, Now, from his perspective, this city is about to get capped in 2 turns. It's being guarded by 2 tanks. He knows there's an artillery here. Like, normally you would probably just give this up and then shift all your tanks north and hope that you could win there. That's a level-headed reaction to this. But I think if you're this behind and you're getting like super bad engagements, you're probably going to be tilted and try to win battles that are very unlikely for you to win. That are battles that aren't in your favor. Which I think that's what he does. So like he scouts with his infantry here, so he's both tanks. And then he attacks. Even knowing that there's an artillery here, he attacks. Just so he could get the first strike. He was probably pretty confident because he has the battlecopter like manning this area. So that's probably why he attacked, but I don't really agree with that. Because yeah, look at that. Like he activated Urban Blight, but not really gonna help. Like he gets vision. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, look at this recon. Remember the recon position here a couple of days ago? It's the same logic. Like tank recon on a defensive property surrounded by roads, it's a very good bait. So, and if you remember last time, he didn't take the bait, but now he does. And what's even worse is that he took this bait full well knowing I have something to retaliate it with. So I think at this point my opponent was pretty tilted. Like he wasn't as restrained. What was that word? He wasn't as restrained as he was a couple of days ago. Now he's just attacking because probably he just wants to get, try to push even though he doesn't really have the economy or the units to have an effective push. I think it was pretty tilted at this point of the game. And then, yeah, he scouts this area and then he saw, oh no. Like this infantry didn't really add anything. He thought he could block the tank by putting this infantry here, which not really. It could just easily like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could easily like dance around that infantry. So, and then yeah, he moves all his units and then moves it. Yeah, just keeps building. He even built a rocket, and then he resigns. So probably it was probably the last turn. He was probably tilted. And he was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do as much damage and then resign. If this game continued, what would it have looked like? I would have attacked this tank with this battlecopter, bringing it down to around 5 HP because I'll have counter break. So I'll deal like 5 HP or maybe even 4 HP because it's on a road. So 4 HP, and then I'm gonna use this tank to finish this off, and then battlecopter enters like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hits this tank. This tank goes down to this defensive tile, kills this tank. That's 14,000 worth of value that I got in exchange for 4,000. So that's 10,000 value to my advantage. That's one side. On the other side, I would have shelled this tank, would have died. This tank would have killed this. Yeah, this tank would have killed this, and that's another 14k of value that I got in exchange for damaging my tanks, which is around 7,000, I guess, because 5 HP each. And the thing is, I could still use those tanks later on. He can't use his dead tanks anymore. So 14k, 28k, and all I lost was around 11,000. So that's around 13,000 worth of value that I got. And I could still recover some of them because the tanks didn't die. So as you can see, baiting, if you want to have very effective engagement in terms of value, like the value is like little advantages in terms of cost, and then as the match progresses, it's just gonna keep going bigger and bigger to the point that let's see our income disparity. Like, as you can see, it's not a lot. Like, I would be dealing like 24,000 damage, so subtract this by 24,000 and then add 16,000 to this. So it's probably gonna, our value difference is probably gonna be at around 40,000. But yeah, so it's a very effective strategy for you to use, especially in the lower MMR brackets. As I've mentioned before, these tricks might not work in the 1000 MMR above bracket because players there are more experienced, they're not as aggressive, they're more calculated in terms of their movements. So they're less, this would have probably only have like a 40% chance of working if you were playing with a higher ranked opponent. But in the lower ranks, you can expect them to rush your artillery on the backlines or kill a recon. You can expect those movements from the lower rank inexperienced players. So you can use that to gain MMR. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something from this, and hopefully, you can get like a free 100 MMR thanks to the tricks that I've showed you here. And yeah, if we get matched in the global league, good luck to both of us. And I'm just vamping here. I don't have an outro, so I'm now saying goodbye. Goodbye.